supporting local, regional, and national unsigned bands. This is Domk.
Welcome to the Domkcast. What's going on? It's Lunchbox Promo Brady here as well. Brady, we got some interesting stuff in the upcoming weeks.
Yes, we do.
It looks like Josie Scott from Saliva is going to stop by.
Yes, hopefully he'll be able to stop by sometime soon. He's good. He just finally moved back to Oklahoma. He's getting his affairs in order, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
And when he's get done and has some time, he's going to come by and talk with us.
Talking about life after Saliva. Life after being a rock star. Well, he's still a rock star.
He's still a rock star.
You know, he's trying to fit in with the common folk now.
Yeah.
He's got a normal job. I'm having trouble computing that, Brady.
Oh, we all have to grow up sometime, I guess you can say. Yeah. I don't want to do that yet.
Well, we're also going to have local bands. Tony Robanella Band is going to stop by also. The Normandys next month because they got a show at the Vanguard coming up. And who knows what else, man. It seems like these Domkcasts are really taking off.
We are actually going somewhere. Or maybe it's just us thinking we're going somewhere with this. They probably like, you guys ain't doing nothing. Hey, we're trying.
Well, when we see the clicks on Spreaker, it's actually like our parents. And our sisters.
Or me listening to it 5 times to get the number up.
It's like Jess and Jaden.
Yes.
It's Presley. She doesn't know what she's listening to. She's 2 years old, but
thinks it's
she's
Elmo.
supporting Dad.
Oh, goodness.
Well, this week we figured we'd talk about bands selling out. There's a few cases of this right now, Brady. The main one, obviously, Linkin Park, with their new album, One More Light.
Yeah.
It was released last month, May 19th. A bit of a pop feel to it.
Big time pop feel to it, yeah.
And Chester Bennington has been getting a lot of flack from his fan base, which is pretty huge at this point.
Yes.
You know, saying that we want you to pick back up the electric guitars. We want you to rock again, but they have this whole pop feel to them. I want to say our sister station, 92.1 The Beat, is playing that song, right?
They're playing that one song with, what's her name on it? Was it? I forget her name. Kara?
Some pop star.
Yes. They're playing it right now, yes. They're playing it because of her, because she is hot and like the it girl right now. So that's why they're playing her and playing that song. I haven't listened to the whole album yet. I listened to a couple of songs here and there. And I do have to say it is completely different from the Linkin Park we all grew up and knew and love.
Yeah.
Yes. Selling out part, there's 2 ways to look at it. First way, which is the majority of the people right now, they sold out. They found a pop song. It's a catchy song, catchy tune. They're going to go that direction. The other direction is, they've been a band since, 2000, 1999, 2000?
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, so they've been doing this for, let's go 17 years. This is 2017. And you do the same thing over and over and over and over again. You got to change it up.
I get that.
There you go.
You get tired of doing the same thing over and over again. I remember reading a story about Scott Weiland years ago whenever he heard Linkin Park for the first time. This was before they really hit it big.
Yeah.
And he heard Hybrid Theory for the first time in some record label office. And he was like, this is where rock's going. This is what all the rock stations are going to be playing for like years and years and years.
The first time I heard Hybrid Theory, it blew my mind. Yeah. I saw them when they played the Cain's Ballroom before Hybrid Theory came out. And they were on the bill with Papa Roach and Head PE.
That's a show.
It's a show. And they were just like pimple boys walking around the crowd. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Glad to be there. Killed it on stage. Now, 17 years later, they're bigger than both those bands. Papa Roach should be up there, which they are, but not as big as Linkin Park. Head PE, guilty pleasure. We haven't heard anything else from it since. Going from Hybrid Theory to where they are now is a complete, I guess, 180, you can say.
Yeah.
But I think after you grow up and you get older and you do more stuff and you experience more things, your voice changes and how you look at things. So he's not the screaming 20-year-old, shut up when I'm talking to you kind of deal.
Right. He's matured over the years. Yeah, and I get that, but he's still very sensitive about his music. And I have to admit, the first time I read all of his tweets and all these interviews where he was doing, he's defending his music and everything, I was kind of like, don't be so sensitive,
man. I get to him defending it, but the way he's defending it is kind of BS.
Yeah.
You don't say, I'm going to punch you in the throat if you think. No.
Right.
I will take you outside. No.
You're talking about the fans that made you who you are. Like,
yes.
You're rich because of the people that listen to you. Now you're saying you're
all
going to
those
punch them in the
people
throat?
Made you who you are. Like it or not, they did. You get to do whatever you want to do because of these people who put their money and believed in you and loved everything you did. And the one thing they don't like, I will punch you in the throat.
Yeah.
No.
Even Corey Taylor called him out after those comments. Is like, ooh, be careful what you say.
Yes.
Man, because you're alienating, like, you're pretty much your entire fan base.
And
that's not a good thing.
I read an interview with him a couple of weeks ago about how he deals with things with Stone Sour and Slipknot. Because it's kind of the same thing, but a little different. Because he's in Slipknot. He's known for Slipknot. They do one thing. Make metal.
Yeah.
But since he's with Slipknot, he can do it any way he wants to because that's what we expect as fans. When I hear a Slipknot album, I know I want to hear something different every single album. It's expected. He gets to do stuff with Stone Sour he can't do with Slipknot. If he wants to make a poppy, catchy rock thingy, he can do it because he's allowed to do that with Stone Sour.
Which he has.
Yes.
Song number 3. That's
and that's what I love about that man, and I love both those bands because I am this person right here, but I can turn around and be this other person and be allowed to do it. With Chester, you're Linkin Park. You've always been Linkin Park for 17 years. You're going to get some S. You're going to get flack for it.
Right.
Just toughen up, be a big boy, put your big boy pants on, and just say, hey, I'm sorry you don't like it, but this is where I am right now. Deal with it. And just enjoy the show. I mean, that's all you got to do. I'm going to punch you in the throat. I mean, come on.
And I get, artists being sensitive and being possessive of, the material that they come up with. But at some point, I don't know, you just got to let fans have their opinion. I mean, I get that the band is growing into something else that's going to happen after 17 years.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about bands selling out, I thought that was funny, because there's so many different scenarios, different examples of this, and then fans, just kind of like, come on, why'd you have to do that? All That Remains is another one. Their fan base is giving them hell right now. And it's such a comparison between Linkin Park and All That Remains because their fans are like, man, you guys have sold out.
Yeah,
but really, you listen to Madness, and it's like, really?
No,
yeah,
it's
that's
just
an awesome song.
It's a cleaner version of what they do. It's not like they changed the whole complete sound. They have a chorus. They sound cleaner. The vocals are more prominent than the screaming and the yelling. They only have a couple songs on the album that do that. The rest of it is still the same thing they always do. And even he says, like, after a while, I would like to, we're known for pushing the edge. And sometimes the edge is where you don't want it to go.
Yeah.
But doesn't stop me from going there. You can like it or not, but I'm still going to keep doing it. And I hope you enjoy it. If not, I still have the other stuff that you still like, so keep listening to it. I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, bands got to evolve, and these are adults we're talking about. Eventually, adults got to get paid because they got to support their families, or they got to make a living, or anyway, however you want to look at it. So, I think whenever fans get upset with the band, you got to kind of back off a little bit. Like, this is a job for them, and they're just trying
to make money, but yet still keep doing the things they want to keep doing. There's been so many bands about selling out. But there's so many different versions of selling out too.
Yeah,
there's a Nickelback form of selling out.
Nickelback, I feel like, started out as a sellout band. Like they just embraced it.
Yeah, which I totally love about them. I'm to this day not going to knock Nickelback. Not going to do it.
They're still selling out arenas.
They're still selling arenas. They sold out arenas.
Yeah,
they make good music, catchy music. They're good at what they do. They know they're good at what they do. That's why they're richer than me and you.
Right.
I'm not going to knock them. They're talented musicians. Talented. You can't take that away from them. If you call that selling out because they make popular music, so be it. But you know what? They're still doing it. They're still richer than us. And I'm not going to say nothing about it.
Yeah.
Not going to.
Totally. There's so many examples. Metallica is another one.
Yes, they made. I was going to tell you about this list I found.
Okay.
There's like the top 100 sellout bands. I'm not going to go through all 100 of them because that would take us forever. But the top one is, number one is Maroon 5.
Maroon 5.
Top
That's
sellout
an interesting
bands.
one. Good.
And I can see why they say this, but then again, it's kind of like when they first started out, what is it?
Songs About Jane.
Songs About Jane was a fantastic album.
It was.
To this day, I still listen to that album. I'm not going to lie.
Rock stations were playing
Yes.
it. It
was great. To see them live when that album came out was badass. They did a cover of Closer by Nine Inch Nails. That was so badass. It gave you goosebumps. It was no lie. It was badass. Maroon 5 today, not so much for me, in my opinion, not so much. They're extremely poppy, and they found their niche, and they're staying with it, which makes them money.
right.
Hey, I can't fault them for that. For selling out, to me, yeah, no, but exactly what is selling out? All right, number 2 on the list is Metallica.
Okay. Well, I could see this one. There's different waves over time of selling out for Metallica. The first being, I remember in 96 when they released Load.
Yeah.
And around that time, Alice in Chains had the Unplugged show.
Yeah.
They were actually in the audience, and the bassist for Alice in Chains had a
I'll remember that,
on
yeah.
the bass guitar. Friends don't let friends
Yes.
get haircuts.
Yes.
And they're trying to be like all trendy around that time. And in terms of a sound, too, I remember as a big Metallica fan, you go from even Black. And I know Black was even like kind of a departure from their original sound, Ride the Lightning and Injustice for All and Kill 'Em All. And Load was like the first one where they're like, okay, we're just trying to make some money here.
Yes. I don't blame them one bit. And they mentioned that in this right here, that Load is where it started for them selling out.
Yeah.
Quotation marks I'm doing right here in my hands. To me, I may give you that one. But for me, for Metallica, since, I mean, they've been around since, 80 whatever.
Yeah.
When I was a kid listening to them. And as I got older, it felt like they got older too. So they weren't as, I guess, angry about the world as much because you're getting older and your relationships and you got to think about family and kids and blah, 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 blah. And I think they're just finding like, we've done so much as doing this thrash metal. We can do anything we want to right now, and it doesn't matter. We should try it. If we don't like it, so be it. We'll try something else.
Right.
Okay, the album they did with Lou Reed. I forget the title of the album, but it tanked. It didn't go anywhere. And Lou Reed was so upset about it. Like, it really hurt his feelings. Like, nobody really loved that album. And Metallica was like, you know what? We loved it. We didn't care if anybody bought it. It's the fact that we got to work with Lou Reed and get to do something crazy we've never done before was just awesome in itself. If it didn't sell, so be it, but we enjoyed it. So they get to do stuff like that, even though they're Metallica, the mighty Metallica, get to like, yeah! And then you're like, do this thing. I give them props for trying.
Yeah, because they can afford to take
They can
risks
afford
like
to take risks
that.
now.
Like, who cares if it bombs? Like,
Yeah.
we're still sitting
We're
on
just going to sit down
a fortune.
and we get to make something. We'll come right back to what we know how to do.
Yeah.
So Metallica, sell out, not sell out. To me, I don't think they sold out. I think they're just growing and maturing, and they're old men now, just like me, singing as much as hard as they can, just like me. I mean,
See, I
you
feel
grow
like
older.
ever since Load, they've been trying to reconnect with that old sound that they had in the early 80s with
Yeah.
Ride the Lightning and Injustice for All and all that. So they keep on having these attempts.
It
of sorts.
happens like with everybody.
And even like on their latest album, Hardwired to Self-Destruct, you could tell a producer got a hold of them.
Yeah.
He's like, you can't have these 8-9 minute songs,
No.
man. You got to have a condensed
Yeah,
version.
slow it down. The attention span is short, like goldfish. You can't do it. But I think everybody tries to go back. Like, well, for me, it's like, man, back when I was 20, ooh, I look good. I'm going to go back to that look. And that ain't going to happen. I am 43 years old. There is no way, unless I had a $1 surgery, am I going to look the way I did when I was 20? And I just saw something about Jonathan Davis seeing like the Korn 3 album. He regrets doing that album because he was forced to go back and sound like he did back in his 20s during the first like Korn album. It was forced. He said, I'm not there anymore. I'm past that. So it doesn't sound as good to me because it felt like I was trying to go back to something I was and I'm not there anymore. And you can tell.
So this is the pressure of these bands and for them to come up with the